The Senate Subcommittee on Higher Education will come to order. The clerk will please call the roll.
Senator Creighton, Senator Middleton, Senator King,
Here.
Senator Springer,
Here.
Senator West.
Here.
The quorum is present.
Quorum is present. Members, I'm just filling in temporarily, but thank you for being here. I do have a couple of announcements. There is an overflow room. Is E1.016, E1016. And by way of announcement, the committee staff will close public testimony registration at 5 p.m. And with that, what bill do y'all want called up? Okay. Okay. All right, remember.
We don't want to keep her waiting much longer.
I agree completely. The chair lays out Senate Bill 55 by Senator Zaffarini and recognizes Senator Zaffarini to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman and members, Senate Bill 55 relates to a study and report by the Higher Education Coordinating Board regarding best practices for assisting students with autism spectrum disorder. This bill was reported unanimously by the Senate Committee on Higher Education in 21, but it was just too late to go through the whole process in the House. Generally, members, this bill would require the board, with the assistance of the Advisory Council on Post-Secondary Education for Persons with Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities, to conduct a study to identify the best practices for assisting students with autism who are enrolled at institutions of higher education, the number of these students who are graduates from secondary schools, enrolled at institutions of higher education, and are graduated from institutions of higher education, and financial assistance available to these students. That's all it does.
Thank you, Senator. Members, are there any questions for Senator Zaffarini? Hearing none, the floor is now open for testimony on Senate Bill 55. We have two invited witnesses and one other witness. Invited witnesses, let me call you up, Linda Litzinger and Ashley Ford. And while you're coming up, ladies and gentlemen, I assume this will be the rules throughout the day, but invited testimony has up to 5 minutes for each to testify. You don't have to take all of 5 minutes,
Because the bill's in
but
really good shape right
but if you want to, you can. The members can ask questions after that, and then if you are other people that are signed up as witnesses, you'll have 2 minutes. There's a set of lights up here. When the light turns yellow, you have 1 minute left. When it turns red, you will need to, as soon as possible, wrap up your testimony. And it's not that we don't want to hear you talk and everything you have to say, and we'll ask questions to further into that, but we just have a lot of witnesses and a lot of bills today, and we want to timely get through them. So with that, and ma'am, what is your name?
My name is Ashley Ford, and I'm with the ARC of Texas. I wanted to inform you, Senator, that Linda Litzinger had a medical emergency and is unable to be here
Well,
today.
good. We all hope it's nothing serious.
Yes,
Okay.
I hope that as well.
All right.
Thank you for your concern.
And so if you would please say your name, who you represent, and whether you're testifying on, for, or against.
Hello, my name is Ashley Ford. I am with the ARC of Texas, and I am testifying for Senate Bill 55 today. Thank you all for hearing this bill. This is a very important piece of legislation. I am the presiding officer of the Advisory Council on Post-Secondary Education for Students with Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities. And in that role, I can certainly say that this bill is welcomed. Autism is a unique set of characteristics that will benefit from thorough study, and we are in whole support of Senate Bill 55 and believe that this will further the goals of people with autism to be fully included in society and on college campuses throughout the state of Texas.
Thank you. Members, any questions? And I'll just say real quick before the chairman takes this over, thank you for what you do. I've got two grandkids with Down syndrome. They are wonderful. And just the work with people with certain disabilities is just amazing.
Thank you. I'm hoping that we'll have additional pieces of legislation before your committee, before session's over, that will definitely benefit your grandchildren.
Thank you for joining us today. The chair calls Janelle Strother.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Jenny L. Strother. I am here serving as a resource from the coordinating board.
Okay, thank you. Members, any questions for our resource witness? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming today. Is there anyone wishing to testify on, for, or against Senate Bill 55? Anyone wishing to testify on, for, or against? Okay, hearing none. Public testimony is closed on Senate Bill 55. Senate Bill 55 will be left pending. Thank you, Senator Zaffarini.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members.
Here we go. The chair lays out Senate Bill 567 by Senator Springer and recognizes Senator Springer to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. 567 seeks to eliminate a barrier that is preventing volunteer firefighters from being able to participate in the tuition exemption for fire science courses that currently paid firefighters are getting to do. The barrier that we're removing is that they have to be in the Texas Emergency Services retirement system, and less than 10% of Texas volunteer firefighters are in that system. So we have basically about 24,000 volunteer firefighters across the state, and which is actually less than our paid, although they do cover 76% of the land area of the state of Texas, our volunteers do. And this will hopefully help them in recruiting, because it is getting harder and harder every day to find people who want to volunteer. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Senator Springer. Members, any questions of the author? If not, the chair calls Benny Kennedy. Benny Kennedy. Thank you. If you could state your name, your position on the bill, and who you're with.
Benny Kennedy, in support of Senate Bill 567, presented by Senator Springer. We thank you very much, sir, and would like to testify for that bill and for the volunteer firefighters of the great state of Texas. I served on the Firefighter Pension Board. I have been a volunteer firefighter and involved in the fire service, either training or fighting fires, for the last 40 years. We, in the state of Texas, have a hard time keeping firefighters, especially volunteers. And on behalf of the State Fire Marshal, State Firemen and Fire Marshal Association, and myself, we do support Senate Bill 567. It just removes the requirement to participate in the emergency Texas retirement system. 1,200 firefighters, 120 municipalities, and so many people are having so much trouble getting and keeping volunteer firefighters. And we're hoping that this will help in the recruitment and the retention of firefighters to have this exemption. Thank you, sir.
Members, any questions?
No, Betty, appreciate you being here, and members, I believe I saw, it's hard to remember what week we're in. One of the oldest monuments, if not the oldest monument on the Texas Capitol grounds, is the Volunteer Firemen's Memorial down on the south end. And I saw the wreath there the other day, and I'm imagining we unfortunately had to add a few more names to that monument. Again, volunteers are willing to sacrifice their lives for other Texans. So thank you for
Thank you, sir.
for doing that.
We did add more names, and I am the chaplain of that association, and it's really close to home.
And it was my first session where we added the outer ribbon that we were able to put in place and make sure the funding there was, as unfortunately we outgrew the monument itself to be able to add names. So thank you for your service.
Thank you,
Anyone
Benny.
else?
Thank you. Is there anyone else here would like to testify on, for, or against Senate Bill 567? If not, public testimony is now closed on Senate Bill 567. The bill will be left pending. Thank you, Senator Springer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
The chair lays out Senate Bill 804 by Senator Schwartner and recognizes Senator Schwartner to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, Senate Bill 804 would further the state's goal to address the critical shortage of mental health professionals, the professional workforce, by expanding the loan opportunities for providers who commit to practicing in areas of greatest need, the loan repayment opportunities. Specifically amends the location eligibility criteria for the Texas Loan Repayment for Mental Health Professionals program to include professionals working in state hospitals or local mental health authorities. Thank you.
Thank you, members. Any question, author? Senator West? No questions? Okay. The chair calls Allison Moore Boulware. Allison Moore Boulware. Thank you. If you could state your name, who you represent, and your position on the bill.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Allison Moore Boulwer, and I'm the Director of Policy at the Haag Foundation for Mental Health, and I'm here on Senate Bill 804. I wanted to share a little bit about how this bill would impact the mental health and substance use workforce. So we know that this program has already been extremely successful in the short time that it has been around. Over 270 mental health and substance use professionals have been served by the program, with 98 currently involved. However, we know that some folks are left out of the program if their local mental health authority or state hospital is not designated as a shortage area. So this bill would fix that administrative challenge and ensure that those folks are able to participate in the program, which we know is a huge incentive, recruitment, and retainment tool. When folks are choosing a profession, or when they're choosing a facility to work in, this can be a huge factor in them making the choice to work at a local mental health authority or a state hospital, which we know would be of great benefit to Texans across the state. I'm happy to answer any questions that y'all have. Thank you.
Thank you, Allison. Members, any questions or witness?
Is there a reason you were on, when I listen to your testimony, it sounds like you're for this bill, but does the organization not allow you to be for it and you have to testify on?
Senator Springer, yes. I work for the Haag Foundation for Mental Health, which is part of UT Austin, so I'm here sharing
Thank you very much. I appreciate
resource.
that clarification.
Thank you, Allison. Is there anyone else who wishes to testify on, for, or against Senate Bill 804? If not, public testimony is closed on Senate Bill 804. Senate Bill 804 will be left pending. Thank you, Senator Schwartner. The chair lays out Senate Bill 1758 by Senator Schwartner and recognizes Senator Schwartner to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a local bill concerning Bastrop County, but it would broaden the allowed uses for the UT system's Bastrop County property to allow for any mission related to education, research, training, and public safety, rather than its current dedicated use as a science park and for research purposes. This was brought forth by the UT system, and I'm carrying the bill for them.
Thank you, members. Any questions for Senator Schwartner? We have one resource witness here with us, Stacy Napier. Does anyone have any questions for our resource witness? Okay, seeing none. Is there anyone else who wishes to testify on, for, or against Senate Bill 1758? All right, if not, public testimony is closed on Senate Bill 1758. Senate Bill 1758 will be left pending. Thank you, Senator Schwartner. Okay, the chair lays out Senate Bill 2137 by Senator Creighton and recognizes Senator Springer to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. Texas public institutions of higher education graduate students with extensive knowledge in their given field of study who go on to establish themselves as successful professionals. However, many graduates lack the financial literacy skills needed to file their taxes, take out a loan, or simply balance a personal budget. In addition, employers around the state have voiced the need for soft skills such as problem solving, communications, time management, critical thinking, and persistence in candidates seeking employment. Senate Bill 2137 aims to better prepare Texas students for their adult careers and lives by requiring all public institutions of higher education to offer an undergraduate course in financial literacy and soft skills. The course must be offered for credit towards satisfaction of a student's core curriculum requirements in social and behavioral sciences. It's important to note that these courses will not be required, but rather added as an additional course option to fulfill a student's core curriculum requirement in social and behavioral sciences. This proposal will ensure that students are prepared not only for their adult careers upon graduation, but also obtain the skills, knowledge necessary to function as a responsible, independent, functioning member of society. And with that, members, I'm happy if we have witnesses that might answer any detailed questions, or I can give it a shot.
Thank you, Senator Springer. We do have a resource witness, Elizabeth Mayer with the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. Does anyone have any questions for our resource witness here today? Okay, seeing none. Is there anyone else who would like to testify on, for, or against Senate Bill 2137? If not, public testimony is closed on Senate Bill 2137. Senate Bill 2137 will be left pending. Thank you, Senator Springer. The chair lays out Senate Bill 2139 by Senator Parker, and the chair recognizes Senator West to lay out the bill. Do you have a committee substitute?
Yes, there's committee substitute.
Senator Springer sends up the committee substitute for Senate Bill 2139. I recognize Senator West to explain the difference between the substitute and the original as-filed measure.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Let's see here. Okay. Senate Bill 2139 has a alleged council draft committee substitute. That's what it comes down to. The purpose of 2139 is to establish a pilot program that would make it possible for adults who dropped out of secondary education to earn a high school diploma while enrolled in workforce training programs offered by public junior colleges. Well, without a high school diploma, individuals face significant challenges, including limited job opportunities, lower earning potential, and restricted access to higher education and programs. The bill addresses this issue by creating a competency-based educational program that allows adult students to demonstrate knowledge equivalent to foundation high school diploma while enrolled in workforce programs. The program will be run through 5 public junior colleges chosen through an application process via Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, and may collaborate with other colleges, colleges, districts, and organizations to offer high-quality programs.
Thank you, Senator West. Senator Springer moves adoption of the committee substitute for Senate Bill 2139. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the committee substitute is adopted. The floor is now open for testimony on committee substitute for Senate Bill 2139. We have a resource witness here, Nicole Bunker Henderson, General Counsel with the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. Members, do we have any questions for our resource witness here today? Seeing none, is there anyone else who would like to testify on, for, or against the committee substitute for Senate Bill 2139? Okay, if not, testimony is closed on the committee substitute for Senate Bill 2139. The committee substitute for Senate Bill 2139 will be left pending. Thank you, Senator West.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we are waiting on Senator Hughes on his bill, so we're going to stand at ease for a moment until he finishes State Affairs.
Mr. Chairman, what is the, you may or may not know this, Senate Bill 17, which is the DEI bill. Do you know what the status is, timetable is, and all of that?
The plan, I think, is after the floor today.
After the floor?
After the floor.
So
yeah.
persons that are here today for that bill, they need to know that it's going to probably be about 3 or 4 hours before we even hear this bill. And so hopefully you stay around and you can come back in about 3 or 4 hours, because we're going to be on the floor for a long time debating some other bills. Just want to make sure y'all know that ahead of time. Okay? But please stay around.
And if you want to check, you can And you can look on your phone and watch the Senate while we're on the floor if you're wondering when we're adjourning, and you'll know exactly when.
But please, stay around.
Thank you, Senator West.
I'm trying to help you.
Well, vote with me if you're gonna help me.
I didn't say I was going to help you that much. Give you a little love.
Little love.
Okay, slight change of plans. We're not going to wait on Senator Hughes. So the chair lays out Senate Bill 2139 by Senator Hughes. And do you have a committee substitute, Senator King, on behalf?
Yes, on behalf of Senator Hughes, there is a committee substitute. Is there a committee substitute? Yeah. Committee substitute for SB 2123.
Senator King sends up a committee substitute for Senate Bill 2123. I recognize Senator King to explain the difference between the substitute and the original as-filed measure.
The committee substitute moves back one academic year from 24-25 to 25-26, the date for Tyler Medical School, to begin providing internships and mentorships in JAMP, J-A-M-P, Joint Admission Medical Program of the Medical School of the University of Texas Health Science Center at Tyler.
Members, are there any questions for Senator King? Senator King moves adoption of the committee substitute for Senate Bill 2123. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the committee substitute is adopted. The floor is now open for testimony on committee substitute for Senate Bill 2123. I believe we have one invited witness. The chair calls Brigham Willis.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the subcommittee. My name is Dr. Brigham Willis. I'm here on behalf of the UT Tyler School of Medicine, and I'm testifying on the bill. I have the privilege of serving as the inaugural dean of the UT Tyler School of Medicine, and I'm honored to come before you today to briefly tell you about our school and the work we're doing to recruit promising medical students from all walks of life. Our school, as you know, is the newest medical school in Texas, and we're building the school from the ground up to meet the unique needs of rural and medically underserved areas of East Texas. We seek students who are community-focused, dedicated to East Texas and underserved areas of the state, passionate about preventive care and systems-level change, and primary care-oriented. Participating in JAMP will fit squarely into our mission to recruit a highly qualified, diverse pool of students that are uniquely oriented towards serving the areas of our state with the highest need. Joining JAMP is a natural next step in our development as a medical school, and we would be honored to do so. SB 2123, as substituted, would accomplish that goal while giving us adequate time to mature as a school before beginning our participation in the program. So thank you again for your time today, and thank you to Senator Hughes for authoring this bill and Senator King for presenting it. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Brigham, for making it up from Tyler. All my in-laws live there, so I'm there.
It's a beautiful
all
place
the
to
time.
be.
I'm a big fan of UT Tyler. Members, are there any questions for our witness? Thank you for coming today.
Of course.
Is there anyone else wishing to testify on, for, or against the committee substitute for Senate Bill 2123? Not, public testimony is closed on committee substitute for Senate Bill 2123. Committee substitute for Senate Bill 2123 will be left pending. Thank you, Senator King.
Certainly.
The chair lays out Senate Bill 695 by Senator Hughes and recognizes Senator King to explain the bill.
Thank you. Members, this relates to the formula funding for the College of Pharmacy at the University of Texas at Tyler. The UT Tyler Fish School of Pharmacy was founded in 2013 to meet a regional need for pharmacists in East Texas. Fish College continues to be the only school of pharmacy at the Texas Public Institution of Higher Education that does not receive state funding formula. This disparity needs to be remedied for it to operate in a more sustainable way. Senate Bill 695 would make such funding available, and allow the Fish College to continue to meet critical health care needs in East Texas. And I ask for your favorable consideration on behalf of Senator Hughes.
Thank you, Senator King. Are there any questions? Floor is now open for testimony on Senate Bill 695. The chair calls Kirk Calhoun, President of UT Tyler. Thank you, Kirk. If you could state your name, your position on the bill, and who you're with.
Absolutely, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Senator King, and committee members. My name is Kirk Calhoun. I'm here on behalf of UT Tyler to testify on the bill. I will be brief. I have had the honor of serving as president of UT Tyler for the past 2 years. Prior to that, I spent 17 years as president of the UT Health Science Center, and the two campuses were combined. In time, I've seen our region grow and change, but one thing's remained constant. The medical needs, the healthcare needs of East Texas are great. It was for that reason that the Fish College of Pharmacy was founded in 2013. The reasoning at that time was simple. If the region needs pharmacists, we would work to grow our own. The legislature approved the establishment of the school in the 83rd legislative session, but the state faced tough financial conditions at that time. It was decided that the school would operate like a private institution without support of state formula funding. While this decision was well intended, it leaves our pharmacy students at a disadvantage compared to their counterparts at 7 other publicly funded pharmacy schools across Texas. In 2021, our tuition rate was just under $35,000 a year for a pharmacist, nearly $15,000 a year higher than the average at other public institutions. That hurts our students. Furthermore, it discourages students who may want to study and potentially practice in East Texas. With the support of formula funding, we'll be able to reduce that tuition dramatically. This would not only make our school more affordable, but it would decrease the amount of debt that our students take on. We believe it would incentivize many to stay and practice in underserved rural areas of Texas where the services are most desperately needed. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Mr. Calhoun. Members, any questions for witness here today? Thank you for making the long drive down
It's always
from
a pleasure.
Tyler today. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
No,
sir.
thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to testify on, for, or against Senate Bill 695? If not, public testimony is now closed on Senate Bill 695. Senate Bill 695 will be left pending. Thank you, Senator King. Okay, so that is the final bill that we have today before Senate Bill 17, so we will stand at ease until we come back from the Senate floor. Stand at recess. Sorry, stand at recess until we come back from the floor.